What is going on, Vype Nation? Another Monday means another Locker Talk Live Monday edition. With me, as always, is Scotty T. I am Wac, of course. Scotty T, how are we doing today? I think you might be a little muted there, Scotty.
I'm still muted. Hey, it's a live show. You never know what you're going to say. Like, I'm in a chair that's too tall right now. I'm in like a photo booth, sound booth thing, so hopefully it sounds a little bit better. I forgot my mic again, but hey, we're doing good. It's Monday. I'm thriving and surviving. Wac, how about you, man? You doing
Hey,
right?
can't complain. Had a busy weekend, and we'll get into that here in a little bit. But all things considered, less than 2 weeks away from wedding day for me. So counting down the days right now, making sure everything last minute is taken care of. So I'm getting excited for that for sure. I'm good. People keep on asking, "Are you nervous? Are you nervous?" I'm like, "No, I'm not nervous. So let's go. Let's do this." So, I'm not too concerned about it. So I'm always kind of the easygoing, go with the flow kind of guy. So I'm ready for it. Let's bring it on.
Are you on the 22nd? Is that your wedding day?
Correct. That is correct. 22nd. So less than 2 weeks. I think 12 days if you're counting. So, I'm ready for it.
Who's counting, man? Yeah, I actually, I have my 1 year wedding anniversary in 2 weeks from today.
Oh, so we're almost having the same wedding day there. I didn't know that, Scotty.
That's right. Yes, sorry, I hit my phone there. Yeah, so we are 2 weeks from today is my 1 year wedding anniversary. So shout out to my wonderful wife. She's amazing. And yeah, man, I mean, last year obviously was just kind of crazy year. We had to cancel the whole wedding but still did a family ceremony thing. So I won't bore people with the details, but it's been a wild last year or so. Last year we didn't have the state track and field state championship, but you were out there this weekend. We're going to talk a lot about that. Also probably some baseball, softball stuff. So, but dude, wedding season. It's almost wedding season. That same Saturday, I'm actually in a wedding. So my best man who's in my wedding, he's getting married that Saturday too. So it's that time of year, man. It's beautiful.
I see. I knew I didn't invite you for a reason.
Oh!
No. I mean, we got to keep things smaller, obviously, because of COVID and whatnot. So, but before we get into state track, I actually wanted to bring up, I'm pretty sure if you've watched the news cycles, I mean, obviously you saw that, DK Metcalf, was trying to qualify for the Olympics, and he ran yesterday, ran away at 10.37, which was, last in his heat, and I think 15th overall or something like that of the two heats. Yeah. What is your thought on that? You have varying, opinions of, well, leave the track stuff to the track stars and stuff like that. But I mean, 10.37, it isn't fast, but it isn't slow either. What's your take on that, Scotty?
There's no doubt he's fast. I mean, last year, what was the memes like him? He said he wanted to race a cheetah or something like that, if I remember correctly. Like there's one video where he just tracked down, I believe, somebody on an interception. Like, the guy's fast. There's no doubt about it. But those track guys are next level fast, man. Like, it is crazy. It's like somebody who, I don't know if it's a fair analogy or not, but somebody who's a fighter, right? There's a boxer and then there's UFC. Yes, they're both fighting, but they're two totally different things. That's how I would equivalate football to track and field. Yes, you test your speed and you can be fast, but there's also an art, and for track and field, you got to train for it, man. And so I'm not going to go with the take like Max Kellerman. Gosh, I saw he had a take one time that track and field athletes aren't real athletes or whatnot. Like, that's a terrible take. These guys, those track athletes are amazing. So, props to him for trying, though. I mean, it can only help your football skills, I would think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. At the end of the day, I mean, if he's fast enough to even, race that, you got to give props to him. I think people bring up good points where, when you're running, especially the 100-meter dash, right? Every, 10th and 100th of a second counts in that kind of race. And so, things like getting off the block quickly and properly and stuff like that, those are things that, the track athletes that do this 24/7, those are the, they're working on that stuff nonstop. They're not just running. They are running, but, they're also working on those little things so that way when race day comes about, they've got everything down to a science, if you will. So, is it? I think.
Who won the?
Go ahead.
Who won, so, I mean, not to jump too far ahead of ourselves, but the 6A boys 100-meter dash, Jose Garcia, of Harlingen finished first with the time of 9.98 seconds.
Now, I will put an asterisk in that, and I will say that that was wind aided, like a 5.7 wind aided. So we do got to point that out, because people, I saw it is crazy, no doubt, it is crazy. But because I did see a lot of people being like, he's not even Texas high school fast, which okay, maybe that's true, but you got to also realize that that event was heavily wind aided, but. A crazy time, regardless of wind aided or not. But we should be fair and point that out.
Fair. But I mean, also going back a couple years ago, Matthew Bowling, what was it, like 9.89 seconds? Or I forgot the exact number, but dude, like DJ Metcalf, he ain't going to beat them. So I will say this, though. I think a football player might, for example, Robert Griffin III. I'm a big Baylor guy. Robert Griffin III had Olympic, you hear the term Olympic type speed. A lot of those guys also run the hurdles. I think there's a tad difference between running hurdles and then a straight off sprint and a dash. So maybe DJ Metcalf would have a better chance running a hurdles event. But then again, you also got to learn the skill of jumping over those hurdles, not too high, really get as close as you can without knocking it over. So I'm not sure, but hey, man, props to them for trying. This just shows how good of athletes they are.
Yeah, and I think that can be denied. Like you were saying, RG3, I think he actually still holds the record in the 300-meter hurdles, if I'm not mistaken. For high school. Yeah, so, I mean, you can try and laugh at him and be like, oh, well, you finished last in your heat, blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, at 10.37, it's not nothing. I can probably go about 10 yards in 10.37. So I'm not about to go and criticize this man for trying out for something and doing fairly well, all things considered, for the amount of training he's probably gone through. So, and you got to look at his size too, of what 6'4", 6'5", and what 230, 245. He's now a skinnier receiver. He's a mountain of a man, so props to him. But let's move on to some high school sports. As this is a high school sports based company, and often we do try and stick to high school sports as much as we can. You want to start off on track and field, Scotty, or do you want to start off on lacrosse? Because both had championships this past weekend.
Both had championships. I think we need to start off with the big ticker, track and field. Because not only, they're both big tickers in their own right, but you were there. You were there on the ground. So Josh, this is your segment, man. How was it being on the ground? You were there, I believe, Friday. Is that's 3A, 4A, 5A, if I'm not mistaken, or 4A, 5A?
No, so it was 5A and 2A. So Thursday was 3A and 4A. Friday was 1A and 5A, and then Saturday was 1A and 6A. So I was there for the 2A and 5A portion. So. It was good. I actually, my first time being back to state track since 2005 when I went and watched, because one of my friends from high school competed in the pole vault there. It was definitely a more unique experience, getting different kind of access. Started off watching.
I'm not saying you're dating yourself. Hey, Josh, I think you might be dating yourself there, man. I'm not going to say one or the other, but
I'm an old man. Don't let this young face fool you. I'm an old man. I'm in my 30s already, so that's.
You look great.
So I started off watching some 2A high jumps. So my brother is a coach at Three Rivers, and one of their athletes at Three Rivers was competing in the girls' high jumps. I was like, hey, I'll go get some photos and videos for you. Kind of get me warmed up too, because it was like the first event of the day. So kind of gets me warmed up for the whole day. So got that, and she actually took home gold, which I think it wasn't 100% shocking, but she definitely hit a PR in her jump to get that. Congratulations there. I think I actually got it. If I can find it. Go ahead and talk. I want to show it real quick. I'll show her winning jump if you want to talk real quick about maybe some things you saw, this past weekend.
So I think Josh Cook did a really good job, and our Dallas rider Shayna Williford. They both did great jobs covering. I'm not sure exactly how y'all are doing it. If you were getting the video and sending it out to him, but the coverage there was great. So that's why you need to go follow us on our social media channels at Vype. Really type in whatever region you're in and you'll find us. But biggest takeaways for me was really a lot of personal records set, a lot of state records. personal records being broken, man, because that's what it all really comes down to. Even on the TAPS level, a lot of those records were broken, and so it's really cool seeing those athletes getting out there and compete. Because again, we didn't have that last year, so a lot of those kids were motivated to do even better than they were this year. One of the first ones that pops out to me, though, Josh, is Bryce Foster. Bryce Foster in the shot put, those shot puts are so deceivingly heavy, and those kids are so big. And guys like Bryce Foster, who's he is signed with the Texas A&M Aggies to play offensive line, was a 5-star out of Katy Taylor. Well, just seeing them throw the ball like that is just amazing. Also, at least from the Houston perspective, Summer Creek comes out on top. 6A state championships. Pretty neat. Summer Creek is in the Humble ISD school district. A lot of people, at least here in the Houston area, might not be familiar with Summer Creek. They're pretty close to Atascocita and Kingwood. That's where that school is. And so they had some individuals who came out with individual state championships as well. But kind of like what we were saying a few weeks ago with wrestling, you need your top performers, or even golf. You need your top performers to do well. But it takes the full team to come around with the state championship. So big shouts to Summer Creek for winning the boys 6A state championship. And then definitely expected DeSoto girls come away with the 6A girls state championship for the second straight year. So that's why it's really no surprise for anybody. DeSoto's having a great year on the female side. They won the state championship in basketball this year, beating an undefeated Cy Creek, who was number 1 in the state. So big shouts to DeSoto girls winning the state championship, and the DeSoto girls for winning the 6A track and field state championship. They got some athletes up there in DeSoto, man. So also really good football program. So that school is definitely headed in the right direction. The 4x100 meter relay, at least I'm getting a lot of the 6A stuff right now. There were 3 individuals who were separated by less than 1/100th of a second. The 4x100 relay is one of the most popular relays. I would say that, and the 4x4. So pretty neat. It came down to 1/1000th of a second of who won. It was Cedar Hill won. I don't have the gentleman's name who won it. No, I'm sorry. It's the relay. So Cedar Hill won by less than 1/1000th of a second over Katie Tompkins and A-Leaf Taylor. So pretty neat stuff there, man. You see these kids diving, going for it full send, leaving it out there on the track. That's what we want to see for the state championships, and I love it.
Yeah, and I got that video by the way, so I'm going to play that for you. This is Gabriela Hidalgo of Three Rivers. This is her winning jump for the 2A high jump girls state championship jump right here. You just gotta love that, right? I mean, just it's great to see, and I mean, there was a lot of just happening at the same time was a 2A girls pole vault, and the pole vaulter that won. You have to forgive me, I don't know the name at the top of my head. She set a PR. She actually broke the record for the 2A high jump record, and the person who had the record was actually in attendance. So she got to see her record be broken. So a lot of great stuff happening. You were saying, how was it happening? I basically was a one-man show on Friday. I will say that. So I was taking the videos, tweeting them out. I wouldn't say as good as Josh Cook level, but I was trying to cover every event as best I could. I got some good pictures going through, looking at getting them ready to put out now. So definitely a fun and exhausting day. For covering the 2A, 5A level, lots of great races coming down, like you were saying, to 2/10ths, 2/100ths of a second, and just, I mean, that's people always say, oh, football is a great sport to watch, basketball is a great sport to watch. Man, I love watching track. I mean, you got people going for their personal bests all the time. You got races coming down to fractions of a second. What's not to love about watching track? I mean, if you don't love watching track, I mean, I don't know. I don't know, man. It's fun to watch, in my opinion. It's a great time.
especially for those who ran track, because you get it. Like you said, these races are being separated by 1/100th of a second, and in one case, 1/1000th of a second. You know how many times these kids woke up at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. to go run, to go stretch, to get that much faster? And for those who accomplished those goals, I mean, huge congratulations. Winning that gold medal, that state championship, that's what it's really all about. A lot of them are also going to go run track at the college level, so that's really cool. And at least on the boys side of things, and I'm sure on the girls side as well, but a lot of these football guys who want to go get recruited, it's important to go get those track times. It's to really see those speed. We were kind of talking about DJ Metcalf earlier, but like a lot of that's what makes Fort Bend Marshall really good, is that a lot of those guys who are running on the track field are going to be strapping up the pads this spring and this fall to go out there. So I know that those guys down there at Fort Bend Marshall are really excited because they got a great football program too. So, and I mean, dude, I love seeing that video that you just posted. I mean, that reaction, that says it all right there. That is all the hard work, the early mornings, the late nights, just trying to get an inch better every single day. And just seeing the joy and elation all come out at once, it's incredible.
And it's such a mind game too, right? You got to know, okay, when am I gonna, do I go now? Do I wait? What do I have in the tank? And if I go now, there's so much that goes into it. One of the cool things, and if I had the video on top of my head at the top, in my computer, I would show you right now. But Walker St. John of Grapevine in the 5A boys 1600, the mile, he lost his shoe, I think, before the final lap, and he ended up winning. So he ran like at least 400 meters without a shoe on and won the race. It was great. Wow. He's kind of one of those ones where you got some people that you're kind of next to and you talk throughout the event. He made his move before the final lap even started, and we were all like, "Ooh, man, has he gone too soon?" But no, because he was about maybe I think 4th or 5th or something around those lines before the final lap started, and right before maybe I want to say maybe about 50 meters before, he made his move and just never looked back. And like I said, without one shoe. So
that's incredible.
You gotta love stuff also, like that.
I want to give a shout out to Bren Brown out of Denton Geyer. She smashed her own state record in the UIL record in the 3,200 meter. She was the clear favorite to win. She signed with North Carolina as well. So, somebody's calling me. All right. She ran a 9-minute 58-second 3,200 meters. So that's, I believe, Josh, if I'm not mistaken, 2 miles. That's pretty fast. Is that right?
Yeah.
Or just under 2 miles.
Yeah, no, I think just around 2 miles. Yeah.
That's her own state record. Remember, from 2 years ago, we didn't have it last year. So
yeah.
Her record's been there for 2 years and breaking it. Pretty cool stuff. So congrats to her.
Yeah, and it's always fun seeing not her but like others who are like, I know there was in the 5A girls pole vault, the person that won only a sophomore, so it's like, man, and we're getting that, and they still have 2 years to kind of stake their claim in Texas high school track and field lore, if you will. So great stuff. And go ahead.
I mean, that's going to motivate everybody else to get better. Mm-hmm. If the person who won state's already a sophomore, don't you know that there's those other people that would be like, man, I got to push myself even more. That's really cool. That's what competition's all about. We want to see who the best is and who's going to continue to be the best.
It's all about giving your all to the finish line. For the boys 4x400, I believe it was Frisco Liberty. I can tell you right now. Frisco Liberty got the win. And because of that win, they ended up winning the team title as well. Fort Bend Marshall had the first place in the team title heading up to that 4x4, but they didn't have anybody competing in that. So Frisco Liberty, who I think I could be wrong on this, you just hear people talking. I'm not a track guru by any sense of the imagination. I don't think they were favored to win that race, but like I said, because they won that race, they ended up getting the team title out of it. So it's always great to see that too. People don't really focus on the team title aspect of state, for UIL, but it's still a part of it. And seeing that, okay, hey, we got a chance to take that team title too. Let's get both, and they did. So shout out to Frisco Liberty there. Let's move on to go ahead.
Who won the 5A girls title?
5A girls. It was a tie. a tie between Fort Bend Marshall and Lancaster. So I think Lancaster finished, I think, second, if I'm not mistaken, in the 4x4, and I think it was crazy. Yeah, so I think because of that, they caught up to Fort Bend Marshall and got that tie. So one of the crazy things to see there.
You don't see that often in a tie.
No, especially on team titles. Yeah. So,
Wow.
yeah, when I saw that, I was like, whoa, that's crazy to see. But congrats to both Fort Bend Marshall and Lancaster. Fort Bend Marshall, obviously, I think if Josh and Matt had their show, still waiting to hear on that. I'm sure they'll cover that heavily. So, or it might even, I think Josh wrote a little article on Vype.com. So he at least covered, talked about some 6A stuff. So definitely check out Vype.com for some Josh Cook UIL track updates. Let's move to Shuttle Cross real quick.
Right.
We had a few champions. We'll start with the girls. Hawk Day School won Division 2, Division 1, Division 2. And then I believe it was McKinney won Division 1. Let me double check on that real quick. And then on the boys' side, real quick, you had Dallas Jesuit. They won the Class 2A title. You had Koppel. They won the the Class A title, and a very, very back and forth game between them and Vandergrift. It was tied with maybe, I think, 3 or 4 minutes left, and Koppel they scored and kind of held on. Vandergrift had a couple opportunities but couldn't capitalize. Pearland, they won the Class B title, and they did it, in my opinion, pretty convincingly. I think they finished the year undefeated, if I'm not mistaken. Just a very good squad over at Pearland. Magnolia won the Class C title, and then Bridge won the Class D title. I'm going to actually try to get so we have a Vype U kid. Say again?
When you say Pearland, you mean Pearland?
Pearland. That's, hey, maybe.
Okay, I just want to make sure, because I was like, I'm pretty sure Pearland won. I don't know. Okay.
Hey, don't people try to say my last name right, and then we can talk, right?
Washlasic.
No, Waslasic.
Waslasic. Oh, I was close. I listened to a lot of those Vype Bites interviews on a Vype Bite YouTube page, which is subscribe to if you want to go see interviews and whatnot. And like a lot of those state champions we were just talking about track and field, they're all those interviews are on the Vype Bite page. But yeah, Waslasic.
Waslasic.
Anyway, Waslasic. I'll get it. I promise I'll get it.
But anyways, that kind of runs the program on our show. Maybe next week if we can, just to talk about it, because it's really just a unique and really cool story, out of Bridge up in Dallas. So, like I said, that's my goal. But that's kind of your lacrosse kind of update. It's not as widespread as track there, but I think you can track. You're covering 4 classifications and 17 events a piece for each. So you just do the math right there. There's a lot more to talk about in the track realm than in the lacrosse realm. But congrats to all champions from the track to lacrosse and everywhere in between. And I know you say we're going to talk baseball and softball, but I think we can hold off on that. I know not quite a few upsets as of yet, and it's, at least in the Austin, San Antonio area. Leander for softball is still in it. Lake Travis is still in. Reagan's still in. Bowie did lose. Bowie was one of our top teams for most of the season. They lost to Westwood in the playoffs for baseball, so they are out. But I know Charlotte, they were another top team. They lost to Mason, who also was one of our ranked teams for softball. So there is some of our top teams falling out that we're going to take into consideration making our final rankings once the playoffs are over. But I think next week, now that all these championships have kind of come and gone, we'll have a more baseball and softball playoffs centered show. So anything else you'd like to add before we move on, Scotty?
I think in the softball round there are a couple matchups that I'm really looking forward to. Actually, I'll give one from each region to start off. So out of Region 1 in softball, I'm really looking forward to Geyer versus Prosper. I think that's going to be a pretty good matchup. Both those teams were at our softball photo shoot up in the Metroplex, and Prosper is telling me that a lot of them are going to go sign, or they're already signed, go play in college. So they got a lot of great athletes up there. So does Denton Geyer. So out of Region 1, that is the one that I'm keeping my eye on. Out of Region 2, I'm going to go Grand Oaks and Bridgeland. I think those teams are doing really good right now. Grand Oaks, they're up in the Woodlands, Conroe area, so maybe not getting as much love compared to like a College Park or the Woodlands. So, but they got a squad over there, so that's why I'm looking forward to watching Grand Oaks play Bridgeland. And Bridgeland has been playing varsity sports for a couple of years now, so looking forward to that one. Out of Region 3, I'm going to go with Fort Bend Travis and the Katy Tigers. Katy won the softball championship the last time it was played, so 2 years ago in 2019. So the Katy Tigers, they're in round 3 now, the regional quarterfinals, looking to make another state run. So keep an eye on the Katy Tigers. And then out of Region 4, I got my eye on Bowie versus Lake Travis. I think those teams are both really experienced and as well have both made deep runs in the playoffs previously. If I'm not mistaken, Bowie about 2 or 3 years ago made it to the state championship game. So Lake Travis and Bowie are Region 4 is the other game I'm keeping my eye on, and the softball round.
Yeah, that's a good point, and it'll be interesting to see what happens again. I think we're going to have a more baseball and softball-centric show next week. But until then...
I don't think there are many upsets really so far in the first round as much. I know that there are some. I think a few of these games, these next round might be one-game playoffs. So that's
it does vary. It's usually dependent on the teams, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, because both teams might be like, hey, we got an ace. We're going to send our an ace that we think we have a better chance of winning one game versus 2 out of 3. So that's why it's kind of interesting, because a lot of these games do go 2 out of 3, best of 3. But a few of them have like, hey, let's do one game, winner take all. So it gets very interesting, at least until the semifinals and the state finals, which are one-game playoffs from there. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting how it's basically like some games are going to be a 1 game, some games are going to be a 3 game. Sometimes I'm just like, why not just choose one or the other? But that's baseball for you, and softball and the craziness that is that sport. Yes, go ahead, Scotty.
UIL State Golf is today and tomorrow, so big shouts to everybody playing in the UIL State Golf Tournament. I'll be doing probably a recap on that tomorrow afternoon / Wednesday, whenever the final round is up. Westlake, I think, is the favorite. I think that's right. Yep. Anyway, so big shouts and best of luck to everybody playing this week in UIL State Golf.
Well, until we find out the results of that, you know what time it is. That's right. Who is that mascot? I think I've given you at least one easy one this week. The first one I feel like you should get. If not, I question your knowledge, I guess.
Okay.
So you ready to go?
Yes.
All right. Your first one is Anderson.
Cooper. No, Anderson Eagles.
Anderson
That's
Eagles. Anderson Eagles.
Anderson Eagles.
It's the Anderson Trojans. No. Anderson Trojans. They're in our rankings. I try to put some in our rankings for you. This one should. I don't know if you're going to hit that 1 for 3 this week. We'll see now. I thought that was going to be the give me. All right, here's the next one. This one's got a special place in my heart. You ready? Joshua.
Leander. Falcons.
Oh, you were in the right animal realm, but it's Joshua Owls. Joshua Owls.
Dang it! Oh man, I'm nervous now. I got to keep my streak up 1 for 3.
If you get this one, I don't want to give it away. If I say something, it might tip you off. All right, you ready for this last one?
Yeah. What you got?
White deer.
Gosh, I don't even know. I'm gonna say the deer or bucks.
What's your final answer?
Bucks. Why not mix it up? But it's like the same thing. So
You're right. It's the White Deer Bucks.
No!
Yeah.
No!
Yeah. I didn't want to give it away. I was like, oh man, if I say it's it's a little kind of because you wouldn't think White Deer Bucks, right? So yeah, congratulations, Scotty, keeping the streak alive. Keeping the streak alive.
Bucks are fun. I couldn't, so I was like, yeah, like Bucks, sure, why not? I can't think of any school that's like the fawns, the baby deer, the wimpy deer. That was the headline.
Well, Scotty, as always, we are going to close our show with a new segment, the one we started 2 weeks ago, and that is the One Good Thing segment. Scotty, I actually remember the one because I told you last week that I had one that I had kind of forgot about it. So, but I remembered it, so I'm going to use it this week because I think it still applies. But I'm gonna let you go first, Scotty.
I want to hear yours. I'm curious. You guys had me on the pins and needles for this week. It's
not as crazy as you might think. But so my one good thing is the band Spirit Box. If you've never heard of Spirit Box, definitely go check them out. I don't know what you would call them as far as let me see what Wikipedia says is their official kind of genre, if you will. Let's see where are you at. They're a post-metal, progressive metal kind of band, if that kind of gives you an idea. But the lead singer is a female, and man, she can not only can she sing really good, but she can scream really good, and it's just amazing. All their songs are kind of different in their own really way, and they came out with a new song last week called "Circle with Me." So definitely, if you're a fan of that kind of music and you haven't heard of Spirit Box, go check them out. It's a great band. I don't know when you popped on to the V mix. Did you hear that music I was listening to?
No, I didn't. I missed that.
That was actually one of their Spirit Box songs I was listening to when you came on. So that's my my one good thing of the week is I think released a new song last week. I was super excited about it. Probably listened to it about 100 times already. So what is your one good thing, Scotty?
My one good thing this week, it's kind of a multitude of things, and I hope I'm not cheating here, but it's moms. Moms are the best. This last week was Mother's Day on Sunday, so we went over to we got lunch with my mother-in-law, and then we went over and saw my mom on Sunday, and then I actually got to see my grandmother, who she's been in a facility really ever since pretty much when COVID started, so it was my second time seeing her in a year. So that was probably the one good thing for me on a personal note, and just moms in general, because moms do so much. Moms are the best. We don't deserve moms, I think, sometimes, because they just do so much for us that we don't even know about. So shout out to all moms out there and to Mother's Day. So that was my one good thing. Because look, all right, actually, I kind of want to go on the flip side. And I want to do a follow-up from last week. My one good thing was the Diamondbacks, giving a shout out to that guy, live tweeting how his date was going, which was an outrageous thing. Turns out they broke up, and there will not be a fourth date. So and then you hear the news that Bill and Melinda Gates are no longer going to be together. So part of me wanted to be like, love is dead. But love is very much alive, because Josh is getting married in 2 weeks. I have my 1-year anniversary, and I think moms are incredible, and we need to celebrate moms. So love is very much alive. So shout out to all the moms out there.
That's definitely a really good one good thing. So I think that's a good note to end it on. Scotty, you got anything to say before we head on out for the week?
I want to give condolences to the Westlake football community. Tough news. Hear Sam Ellinger's brother passing away. So thoughts and prayers are with Westlake.
Yeah, that's definitely heartbreaking news that happened out of Austin this past weekend. So definitely our thoughts and prayers to them. I'm Wac. That's Scotty T. This has been our Monday show. We may have a Tuesday show tomorrow. If not, we will be back on Monday. So until then, y'all stay safe out there and have a good one.
Peace.